As much as people have noted my annoyance with baseball games as I chronicle Japanese game consoles, that's not the sport that I think has suffered the most on these platforms. There's just a lot of baseball games. No, I think soccer really gets it the worst in Japanese consoles. At this point, in 1991, there's been maybe 5 good soccer games that have been released on video game consoles. Computers are a different beast, of course, since European microcomputer fans had worked hard to crack that nut. On game consoles, soccer games have been almost uniformly awful, despite many attempts. So I was braced for the worst with Power 11, and you know what? It is actually good. Of course, it's a simple, streamlined soccer game, but I also think that works in Power 11's favor. There's 4 options from the main menu: Hudson Cup, Versus, Watch, and PK. Hudson Cup is the tournament mode where you have to pick a national team and then defeat all 11 of the other teams. Every time you win, you get a better player offered to you, and you can swap out your players as you go. Versus mode is where you go to play against friends or a single match against the computer. Watch just means you sit on the sidelines watching the game play out, and PK takes you straight to the penalty kicks. For the penalty kicks, you push the D-pad in the direction that you either expect the ball to go, or if you're kicking, then you push in the direction that you think they won't go. There's a small 3-second timer that ticks down, and you both move once it runs out. This mode's a fun way to jump right to something that you might not see while you're playing. In the Versus mode and Watch mode, you can select how long each game will take, and even though you're picking between 15, 30, and 45-minute halves, the clock actually runs a lot faster than that, so a 15-minute half is really a 3-minute half. Before the game, you can also pick your formation from 3 options. The only way to change this during a match is by pressing run to pause the game during the kickoff, and then hitting button 1 will let you pick a new formation. For your team selection, you have the ability to load in a team, either from Password or the Tendo Koei 2 memory bank, and these would be the teams that you built up while playing through the Hudson Cup mode. So if you've got a team full of superstars that you've created and want to take it up against a friend, this is how you do it. On the pitch, the controls are super simple. Button 1 passes, button 1 shoots, button 1 steals the ball, button 1 does, well, everything. And this actually works out pretty well for Power 11 because the game moves so fast, and your computer-controlled teammates do a decent job, that keeping things simple really works in the game's favor. Control of the ball switches rapidly, which means you're always in the middle of the action. You can tell which player you're controlling at any given moment because their number appears in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. If you really went obsessive and kept track of everyone's individual stats, then you might be able to identify your star players this way and get the ball to them. Passing and shooting are a little bit funny. You tap for a short kick, press and hold for a longer one, and let go of the D-pad and hit button 1 to kick the ball up into the air. You don't need to do those high kicks, although using one to set up a shot is a great way to score, so this control scheme works pretty well here. But this, what do you use button 2 for? Well, if you press and hold it, then your player will charge up with superpower. They'll start to flash. And when they're charged up, they'll have an easier time breaking through opponents, and their kicks will have more strength. There's a meter in the lower left-hand corner of the screen that shows how much power your player has, and while you're flashing, this meter is getting depleted. So you can't walk around with it running constantly. It also takes a few moments to build up the charge, which prevents you from just hitting it and using it as an I win button. Since every player has their own power meter, it adds a bit more strategy to the game. Sports games often struggle to be remembered years later, and Power 11 is no exception. The very few people I found who had anything to say about the game didn't seem to be very fond of it. Not hate so much as, oh, it's just another soccer game. And obviously I disagree. I think what works in Power 11 is that it's got a real arcade sensibility. Rather than striving to recreate soccer exactly, developer Westone leaned into making it an action game. And the result is something that's pretty snappy to play. I was pleasantly surprised by Power 11. It really brought some energy to its genre.